Justin, BBY Rev today absolutely skyrocketed. What'd you do?
Rev caught me off guard. I was not expecting it to spike up. Simply put, I chased, backed up the truck.
You already had a lot of Rev too.
I had a lot of Rev, but I basically increased my position on Rev in order to add more to the more to that. Again, following Pi-Fi stage advice, I'm pretty much targeting the $35 calls for January 2023. Have quite a few contracts on that, quite a few more contracts on that. I don't quite know where it's going to go, but my suspicion is that you see the run up, you see the pullback, you see the run up, you see the pullback. My attitude is because they're January and because there's plenty of theta, who the blank cares what's going to happen? Curious to see it out. Pi-Fi can much better describe the FTD cycle than I can. I don't understand the market mechanics, but I get the fact that it exists. And so I also understand the fact that these things continue to compound. I guess that's bullish. So again, my attitude is just give it time and see where it plays out. Bobby, I did pick up some more Bobby calls today. I bought back some covered calls that I wrote last Friday, had to buy them back at a loss, and then I resold them. And then I entered a trade to go into $20. I targeted the $20 contract both in January 2023 and September. My September logic is I want to see where that takes me through OPEX. OPEX being through, let's say, maybe Wednesday, possibly Thursday of next week. If there's no positive price action on Bobby, I'm planning on closing my September calls for 20, but keeping my January calls open. I additionally have, a substantial position in the 80s, which I think you do too, Josh, right? You still have some of your 80s, right?
Let's talk about this, Justin.
Bust out the cookie dough.
Yeah. Talk about my feelings. So I was as bullish as one could get on BBBY for the past few months. And I mean, I had hundreds of contracts for like 20 cents a pop. Like I was buying these things hand over fist just about every single week, buying 100 or so contracts. I was very happy, very, very happy. And then I had a emotional breakdown and I ended up selling the vast majority of those contracts. But because I sold those, I allowed this run up that we've had thus far in BBBY. And it triggered such a massive squeeze from what we've seen so far. It is not my, let's say my portfolio is not to where it would be if I had diamond handed like I know all of you guys are doing out there, but I did, and I will be accepting Christmas gifts because of this, allow this so quote unquote squeeze to start by selling the vast majority of my position before any of this run has happened. But I do still have some BBY. I did chase, not today, but last week I chased just because I was so upset, and I was upset buying those contracts for $2, which I had bought for 20 cents. And let's say my position size is about a tenth of where it was prior to when we started to run, but I'm still very bullish. We closed above 15. There's almost no put wall.
16. We closed at 16.
Yeah, but I mean the calls.
Yeah.
This is another key level. I mean, we could really just start ripping, and it will tear a lot of nooses along its path. As for Rev, I didn't do anything. I've had and maintained a position that I opened up a few weeks ago on Justin's recommendation. Haven't done anything. I'm slightly underwater still. I think like 2% or something like that. So virtually flat. So not bad. BBY up like 100% now. I'm gonna sit, wait, and kind of see what happens. I'm surprised with how little IV has spiked on BBBY, just because if I was a market maker, I would be pricing those options so ridiculously expensive just because of how much call OI is in the option chain. And I would assume like, wow, there's a decent chance that this continues to run, so let's try and incentivize selling of options at any possible case. But IV is not up to the extent to what I would think it was. Just a noted observation.
Yeah, and lastly, just touch on GME. GME basically hovered around 40 today or whatever.
Honestly, I'm thankful because that's almost what we want going into OPEX kind of.
And the puts and the whatever modus operandi they use, but basically to short this, short it back down. So, anyways, as far as GME goes, I do have a decent put position, like nothing too big on that, but I would probably end up. If we see GME go down to, I think Pi-Fi has a price target in the mid 30s, like 36 is what comes to mind, but don't quote me on that. Then I probably would start closing out puts and using that to go back into maybe October. Well, no, actually, no, I'd probably go into January contracts. I'm sick and tired of buying contracts without enough theta. I'd rather have fewer contracts and more theta. I've learned that lesson, forgotten the lesson and relearned it. It's about time I remember it. So that's probably what I would do. But again, I would probably hold it through OPEX, and then I'd be pretty quick to close out starting Wednesday or Thursday of next week. But that's how I kind of see the lay of the land. And I don't think there's anything else really that, I've got a few SPY calls. The SPY just kind of keeps.
SPY puts.
Oh, pardon me. Thank you, Josh. Very good. So that's what I was doing wrong all this time. Yes, I have a few SPY puts, but I mean, like, not very large position. It's more so just, well, whatever. It's just to see what happens, to have some downside protection against the SPY.
Yeah, I will start to enter a GME OPEX position towards the middle of this week. But if we do not see an OPEX this upcoming week, I will most likely stop playing the cycles, because all the data that we have been the price action has not illustrated as to the extent that we thought it would. Therefore, we have been wrong. Therefore, I'm no longer going to continue to throw money in a blender and hit go.
So I love it. One
Justin, no, I would prefer that you're disagreeing with me, because if you guys were on the live stream yesterday, me and Justin had a disagreement about BBBY. He was bearish, I was bullish. Therefore, it always works out for the best, and we skyrocketed. If we are not in agreement, I would take full bull just about for any of you guys out there. And we are in disagreement right now, which is perfect, leading into this OPEX. So hopefully.
Well, yeah, and what I would say is this, is that I think I've gotten much better about playing OPEX, and so have you, Josh, too, about playing these OPEX cycles. Okay, listen, this is when we want to enter. These are the points of confirmation we're looking for. This is like the amount of money that we're willing to risk. These are the contacts we're targeting, so we can sit in it, and if we do want to sell out or whatever, right, after a week so or whatever, right, where, yeah, there'll be some theta burn, but it's not like you're buying, crappy weeklies or whatever, right? So, I mean, like, that's how I think that I approach it.
We have a plan, but the plan have gone wildly wrong just about every time.
Well, no, but see, it hasn't, though. It hasn't, because both you and I mean, like, we've both been in the green from OPEXs before.
Yeah, but not to the extent that, like, it's not been the volatility play that I've been playing it as, that I have suspected. In that sense, I've been wrong to the magnitude of degree which I have thought these moves would be, have been very minuscule to what I was expecting and positioning for. Okay,
that's fair. I will say, May caught me off guard. June, I was really overpositioned. Really sat through July. And I guess we did a little bit of run in July, and then with August, again, like, this is one of those things where, like, I'm almost glad that. Well, no, I should say glad. That's the wrong way of saying it. I like to think that I've learned some of my lessons, and that I've been actually able to. And again, a huge hat tip to PyFi and all of them, for putting up with us. But anyways, my point is, I like to think that I've been able to take some of it and, like, become better at it, become more strategic, become more targeted, tactical, blah blah blah, whatever.
Yes. All right, guys. Thank you, and we'll hopefully see you.
Good luck.